Hey, Bebo, does he know?
Does who know?
Does Barry Manilow know you rate his wardrobe?
Just so you know, that clock is 20 minutes fast.
And welcome back to the Retro Review, finally. Um, I am the Bearded Geek. Joining me as always is Mikey the Freak,
What's up?
Steve,
Hey!
and Bebo.
Hello.
Today we are going to be reviewing the classic movie, The Breakfast Club. Mikey the Freak, why don't you tell us a little bit about this movie?
Yeah, so IMDb's small, very very small rendition of this movie. Five high school students meet in Saturday detention and discover how they have a lot more in common than they thought.
That really is this movie. That
Yeah, I
really
mean
is this
they
movie.
spend 7 to 4. They spend 9 hours in detention on a Saturday. What the hell? Yeah, so they've got to spend 9 hours in detention. There's five different types of people, which I thought was pretty cool. The criminal, which was Judd Nelson, Princess Molly Ringwald, the jock or the athlete Emilio Estevez, the basket case, which was played by Ali Sheedy, and The Brain, which was Anthony Michael Hall. Probably one of the biggest five, um, even six if you count Richard Vernon. Probably the biggest five A plus actors
It's the
of
Brat
the
Pack. It's the Brat.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
part of the Brat
yeah,
Pack.
of the '80s. So, amazing movie. They like I said, they spend a Saturday detention. They have different. They come from different parts of the. I say different parts of the world. Really, they come from different parts. Different
Different
type of people.
backgrounds.
Different.
Different
I'm
backgrounds.
sorry. Different backgrounds. So different backgrounds, different type of people, and they got to uh spend the 9 hours together, and then they start to talk more and more, and they start to learn about who they are, why they went in there. They realize that because they have so many differences, they actually all have parent issues. The parent issues, to me, is what really nailed down this movie. Everybody had their own problems, and then they always wanted, someone wanted to be liked by others. One of the biggest things in this movie that I thought was cool and interesting is that they spent all this time together on a Saturday, but what's going to happen on Monday when they go back to school? They'll
Mhm.
never talk to each other again. And that shit happens
It
in
does.
in
All
in
the
high
time.
school. Yeah, it happens in high school. That you might be friends with somebody outside of school, but then when you actually get in school, you just become the same person you are. You either make fun of them because they're too smart, or they were a we always say band nerds, but yet they're people. That's what I'm saying. So I was the athlete. Bebo was a band nerd. So the jock and then the
I
band.
was the band nerd. I was the band
He
nerd.
was the band nerd.
Yes. So, in different backgrounds, different people, but yet, when we were at school, we really didn't hang out with each other at school for that 1 year. But
Hmm.
outside, even though we were family, we still had stuff in camp common. If you
Hmm.
get rid of the family part. So I think this really spoke a lot of volume with John Hughes, and they took this movie from start to finish with every person's small quirk. And this movie has great lines. You can
Hmm.
very very memorable lines. I always like the one. Come on, show Dick some respect because his name was Richard.
Hmm.
Eat my shorts. Don't mess with the bull, son. You'll get the horns. There's so many good lines in this damn movie, and it started from start to finish. It's such a great movie. So Steve, so what did you think about this movie?
This is a great movie. I love this movie. I spend anytime I try and just zone out typing and writing on my computer, 9 times out of 10, Breakfast Club is the movie I'm playing in the background. It's a great movie. It's another great coming of age film. It's a movie that any kid in high school can watch, and they're gonna be able to relate to someone in that
Mhm.
movie.
Hmm.
because you're one of those 5 kids,
Yeah.
if not more than one of those 5 kids within your own self. It's just a fun, loving movie that teaches you about life, love, living, learning, progressing as an adult, progressing as a human.
Yeah. Bebo.
Bebo, what do you want some
I love this movie.
water?
No, I'm good. I'm good. But no, I'm good. Thanks. Um, I love this movie. It's one of my favorites. I'm good. I'm gonna knock that.
Oh.
Put it away. I love this movie. It's one that I've always been able to watch. At any time, if it's on TV, I usually stop. I watch it. This is why we can't have nice things. So that's all, guys. Thanks.
No,
But no, it's a great movie. It's got a great,
We love you, Bevo. I'm
fucking
sorry.
phenomenal cast. That's a lie, but I'll accept it on while we're live. But I absolutely love this movie. Great cast, great soundtrack, which Steve will get to later. I mean, it's shut up. But you definitely can relate in some way to at least one character, like Steve said, if not multiple. It is definitely something that anybody, even like today, even in like workplace environments, you still kind of fit into your own category, and you can see how others would fit within that type of dynamic. So, excellent movie. Bearded Geek, how about you?
No, it's definitely a movie about different people, such as, this, like Mikey said earlier, the sports guy, the princess. They're finding out that they're basically all the same type of person.
So wait, so you comprehend the plot of this film?
I comprehend the plot of this movie. Yes, I get the plot of this movie. Yeah, this is a movie about
the band nerd wasn't on there.
Yeah, this movie is about them finding out who they want to be going forward, basically, and not so individualized. They were finding out things about themselves throughout this whole movie. So yeah, it's a great movie. Mikey the Freak, what would you rate this movie?
Yeah, I do want to hit on a couple more topics though.
Okay.
Some of the scenes that I always are always memorable. The lunch scene. So them actually eating lunch was hilarious.
Yeah.
Where just everybody had their own little quirk, with the Captain Crunch cereal.
Oh my god. And the sugary Captain. Oh my
Pixie
god.
Sticks, yeah. Well, that version.
Hilarious sandwich. And then she's eating sushi, and they're like, "Sushi? What?"
So she's like, "Can I eat my lunch?" And he's like, "If you can,
you can try."
Yeah, you can try.
There was a 7-Eleven right around the corner, and it has the best sushi you've ever had.
But even what they were eating defined their character.
Sure.
Yes.
Because sushi is always like that high end type food, which you can get it for $7.50 at Hibachi Express. But it was that even the jock was as funny as shit as he's bringing out the food, and he's got 3 sandwiches, a banana and an apple, and he's like a quart of milk, chips, and they're just like,
how much food do you?
And I love that part where he's done, and then he goes to put the bag down. But I love it when he goes to put the bag down, and he's like, and he grabs that last thing and puts it
on.
The
apple. Yeah, he grabs the apple, puts it on. Like, are you done? Are you done? Okay. But yeah,
I stutter? Sorry.
Stutter. And then the crotch scene was great too. So
no, he's talking about whenever Brian took out the weed.
All right. So
I wouldn't have to worry about that. My weed is in Johnson's pants.
Underwear.
Yeah.
Or in Johnson's underwear.
He's like,
yeah. Told him
he
the
told
truth.
him the truth, but he's gonna believe him. I love a lot. Shit, almost all of John Hughes' films. He was such an incredible
True.
Yep.
director
True.
in the '80s and the '90s. But I give this movie a 9.5. It's such a great movie from start to finish. It's funny, smart ass comedy. It's got coming to fruition about that one person's life
Hmm.
where not everybody's perfect, no matter if you are a princess. She had daddy issues and she wanted to be reckless, so she ends up with the criminal.
Hmm.
So that's a perfect example. And the brain was by himself. Anthony Michael Hall's character Brian was by himself
He tried to kill
at the
himself
end,
with a flare gun.
and he tried to kill himself. Sorry, and you actually see the
Fucking
foreshadowing at the
elephant was
beginning.
destroyed.
So so you see their lockers at the beginning of the movie, and you see the flare, and you see the stuff that's burnt on the
Yeah.
floor. So I thought that was great foreshadowing when they talk about it. You're like, holy shit, you got to watch it again to realize that. So amazing movie, 9.5, fun for all ages, great movie to watch with family and everything. Steve-O, what about yourself, bud?
Oh man, this is a solid, great flick for
Yeah.
me. I don't know what Bebo's gonna cover in fun facts, but I will say the one fun fact that before I give it my rating that I love is that Michael Anthony Hall at the beginning of the movie, the woman and child that drop him off, it's actually
Oh,
his mother and sister.
yes. Anthony Michael Hall,
Oh, I
yeah.
didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is actually his mother and sister, and I believe that John Hughes plays Emilio Estevez's dad.
Alrighty.
Either he plays one of the dads. I love this movie. 9.5. It's a great
Yeah.
movie. We've
No, I think he plays Brian's dad. Because doesn't the dad drop him off, or maybe no, maybe it's Ali Sheedy's dad who
then
drops her off.
It's Ali Sheedy's dad.
Okay.
But you don't ever see Ali Sheedy's dad. You just see the car.
Yeah.
You
So
see
what?
that you either
What'd
way
you rate it?
9.5. Same
9.5.
same as Mikey.
Okay. Bebo.
I'm right there with him. 9.5 for me. This to me is definitely a classic. I'm gonna throw something at you, and then so help me God. Um, but no, definitely 9.5. Definitely a movie I'd recommend. It's something I can watch anytime. Great soundtrack, great cast. It's very hard to find anything wrong with this film,
Yeah.
at least in my opinion. So definitely 9.5. What about you, Bearded Geek?
Yes. Great movie. It's one of those films you could recommend to almost anybody. It's it's just a great, well shot movie, and all in one location. Basically, it was basically all shot in one
Yeah.
location. So I mean, I don't know what the budget was for this movie, but it couldn't have been too great
They probably
as
filmed
far
it
as
on
location
Saturday
budget.
from 7 to 4.
Very true. Very true. But no, it's a great movie. I love this movie. Great soundtrack, great actors in it. 9.5 all the
Yeah.
way around. Nine
Great
five all the
plot.
way. Great plot.
Love the plot. The plot was
Yep.
amazing.
The,
Yep.
the basketball court that Judd Nelson is shooting hoops on in that movie. That's where they built the sound stage for the hotel that they stay in Florida in Home Alone.
Oh, okay.
Another John Hughes movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
Um.
Well, actually, that's a Christopher Columbus film. Christopher Columbus
Oh, yes.
directed Home Alone.
The Sailor.
Scold. No, I'm just kidding.
Bebo, what do you have for some fun facts, man?
Just a few things, and I'm not gonna do a lot of the stuff that I'm sure that Steve wanted me to. The film's gut wrenching heart to heart, where all five kids spill like deep dark secrets. All of that was ad libbed, for the most part. The second thing is Breakfast Club was actually supposed to be the first movie in like a new film series. The movie was initially conceived as a franchise starter with subsequent entries like checking in on those characters, but did not happen. And the film originally included a dream sequence in which Ali Sheedy's character imagines Andrew as a gluttonous Viking, Bender as a prisoner, Claire as a bride, Brian as an astronaut and herself as a vampire, and was cut from the final version.
Good.
I feel like
That's
that would have fucking ruined the
weird.
film.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. All right, Steve, what do you have for some soundtracks? Because I have no movie memorabilia.
Judd Nelson has no punchline to the joke that he's telling about the naked woman that walks in with a poodle. That joke is completely ad-libbed. And when he was done with the shot, people on the crew legitimately came up and said, what's the punchline? What did she say? And he's like, there is no, I was making it up. And on this, of course,
Great.
Simple Minds, Don't You,
Yeah.
which was originally intended for Billy Idol to do, and he didn't want to. Fire in the Twilight by Wang Chung, Heart Too Hot to Hold. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. We Are Not Alone. Didn't I Tell You? Waiting. I'm the Dude. Dream Montage, The Reggae, and Love Theme. Those are the songs on the soundtrack to The Breakfast Club.
Awesome.
Nice.
Everybody have fun tonight.
Everybody Wang Chung tonight.
Mikey,
hey,
it's your turn for
so,
related reels.
I would really say that anytime you hear that movie or that song by Simple Minds, that's the first movie you think about. Always.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'd
Always.
agree.
Oh,
Yes.
hey, 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 hey.
Bow,
On
bow.
to
All right,
Check.
related reels, Mikey Freak.
okay. All right. So a grade A cast of characters. It is amazing. I picked. I've only can pick 3. So I did Emilio Estevez. I actually did
The Mighty Duck Man himself.
Mighty Duck Man himself. I put the Mighty Ducks in every damn one of them.
And I was all like, Emilio.
My
Estevez.
favorite movies from him would be Men at Work with him and his brother Charlie Sheen.
Sure.
And then Loaded Weapon 1.
No
I
National
love that.
Lampoons.
National Lampoon's Loaded Weapon 1.
Weapon 1.
I love that movie. It's
Him and Sam Jackson.
Yeah. Ali Sheedy, also, remember all these actors were really in their prime, so they already had A+ movies going into this as well. But Ali Sheedy got Short Circuit just after, War Games, and then she was actually in Chantilly Lace, which is an interesting movie. And you know what was her first word in the entire movie? That's your word.
I don't remember.
Vodka.
Okay.
That's her first word. Fun fact. I thought that would be interesting. What was her first word in this vodka?
Did you say Chantilly Lane?
Chantilly Lace.
Chantilly Lace hanging down.
Yeah, and pretty face.
A wiggle and a walk and a jiggle when I talk.
Judd
Nelson.
Jesus Christ, Steven.
There ain't nothing in the world like a big eyed girl to make me act
so funny, make me spend my money.
Make me feel real
I give
like
up.
a long
I really
legged
do.
goose.
Fair to gig, I give up. It's crazy.
Ooh, baby, that's what I like.
I like Judd Nelson.
Mm-hmm.
So, New Jack City, St. Elmo's Fire, Airheads. I know that's Bearded Geek's favorite movie. And he was actually in a movie called Endure that was actually filmed just a mile down from my house when I lived in Auburndale.
And when that happened, you had to endure the traffic of people trying to see Judd Nelson.
Yes, they shut down the road a whole night, and I had to go around to get to work. And it's a long stretch of road, and it was the forest scene in that movie. And they did a lot of night shots. So for like an entire week stretch, they had to shut down that section of road.
Awesome. Well, I am very disappointed you did not mention any of these actors in the show Psych, because every one of them,
I didn't watch Psych.
Except for Emilio Estevez was in Psych.
Yes, every one of them are in Psych. Yes, but no, I did not mention it.
All
All
right. Well,
right.
as we come to a close, Steve, where can people find you on your podcast?
Oh, the last podcast you'd want. You know all about it if you've watched the show. If not, just go Google the last podcast you'd want. Tip the veal, try the staff. Thank you all for coming. And if you didn't, better luck next time.
Check us out on most major podcasting platforms for your ears. If you are listening on those platforms, check us out on YouTube for your eyes. And if you are on YouTube, make sure you give us a good old thumbing. Hit that like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell us what you thought of this movie and what suggestion you have for future movies. Make sure they're 80s or 90s. All right, I do believe that does it for this episode of Back to the Retro Review. So for Mikey the Freak, Steve Bebo, I am the Bearded Geek saying, keep it retro, everybody.
Peace.
See you.